Welcome to the Travel Business Unpacked, where passion meets possibility. Here's your host, Meredith Calloway.
Hello, and welcome to the Travel Business Unpacked podcast. Today's guest on today's episode is Brittani Robertson of B Luxe Escapes. I am so excited to have Brittani on the podcast today because I feel like she has a lot of really cool things that a lot of people will relate to. So welcome to the podcast, Brittani. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yes, thanks for having me. I'm excited to hop on here and just kind of share my story with everyone.
Yes, you have such a great story. So let's 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 dive right into it. Tell us about how you got onto this journey. What inspired it and how you ended up starting a business selling travel called B Luxe Escapes, which I love the name, by the way.
Well, thank you. Yeah, so I grew up in a military family. My dad served in the Air Force for 20 plus years. We didn't really move around a lot, but we did travel a lot. It was me and my brother. And we still talk about trips that we took, to this day and just like the memories that we kind of created with our family. And just that really inspired me just as a young child, like the joy of traveling and the gift of traveling and really learning about other cultures, seeing things that you see in movies, that you learn in history, to see them in person is just something that really can't be explained unless you see it for yourself. So that's kind of always been in me, and then mixed with my personality of I love planning, I love itineraries. I'm like a very detail oriented person. That's just how I thrive in my day to day. So kind of putting those together makes a good match for the travel industry. And then I was started off booking trips for just friends and family out of fun, just because I hear people saying like, "Oh, I want to go here, but I don't have the time to put together an itinerary, or I don't know what to do." And I'm like, "Oh, that sounds fun. Like, let me research it and set it up for you guys." And one of my friends like, "You're really good at this. You should look at starting a business." And so it just came a point in my life. My husband retired from he played professional sports. He retired. We have 4 kids. And we had some downtime, and I was like, let me do something for myself. And I got with host agency reviews and did that whole process and landed on Gifted Travel Network. I did the travel MBA program, which I love. It was perfect for me just because coming into a brand new industry, not knowing the ins and outs of it, how to start a business, I really love that you guys taught us both, like how to have a business, how to do things in the travel industry in one. And then from there came B Luxe Escapes. And I've been doing it just around like 3.5 years now. And I love it. It's
So
great.
you are doing such a good job, and there's so much there to unpack, as this podcast is called, the Travel Business
Yeah.
Unpacked. So let me start first with that history. I forgot that you are a military brat.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, military brats make great travel advisors because first of all, you learn how to deal with moving all
Yes.
the time
Mhm.
and going to a new place and seeing it as an adventure as opposed to something that's happening to you. It's happening for you.
Yeah.
First of all, and thank your dad for his service. I think every time I've met a military brat who's now a travel advisor, they're
Mhm.
really, really good at it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I love that. But then, all right, let's go into the big bomb that you dropped. Not bomb, but oh my goodness, 4 children. You have 4 of the most beautiful children, and
Thank
tell me
you.
their ages now.
Yes, so I have 4 kids, 3 girls and a boy. The boy, he's the second oldest, so he's sandwiched between all the girls. So my oldest is Lexi, and she's 10. She's in fourth grade. William, he's 8, and he's in second grade. Chloe she just turned 7 a couple days ago. She's in first grade, And then our baby, she's 4, and she's in like a preschool program.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we're in the thick of it, but
You're
it's
in the
like
thick of
fun,
it.
chaotic. Yeah.
You're as soon as your youngest hits kindergarten, it's gonna be a whole new world. But you have 3 kids in the same elementary school.
Yes, yeah. So they're like a little sibling gang at the school, like, everyone knows them, I mean,
Wow.
they're great kids, but yeah, it is chaotic, it's fun, but I'm enjoying the process of,
Yeah.
the ins and outs of kids growing up and going through school together and everything that entails.
But I think it's remarkable, that you were like, "Well, let me just start a travel business
Yes.
3.5 years ago." And then,
Right, yeah.
like, the 4, 3, and was your youngest even born yet?
I was yeah, I was pregnant with her when I started everything, which
Oh my
sounds crazy,
goodness.
but yeah.
So, that's what I love about this story is because, you clearly don't let things hold you back.
Oh, yeah.
When you want something, you're just like, I'm gonna make it happen," and you did, and so and it also illustrates that this is a really fantastic career path for moms because, there is tremendous flexibility in your schedule, in when you work, and how you work. So, maybe talk a little bit about how do you navigate that? How do you navigate juggling all of the responsibilities of raising 4 young kids, with the entrepreneurial journey?
Yeah, so, when I first started off, with opening my company, I was kinda, like, all over the place, like, working around the clock, working late at night, working on weekends, and I felt
Mhm.
myself kind of getting burnt out, and I was like,
Yeah,
"This is too early to feel this way." So I kinda, like, pulled back and I started setting, like, boundaries, and so I only work pretty much when they're at school, so, I do work a little bit when they get home, but pretty much from 10 to 4 are my concrete office hours, and
yeah,
then, I feel like when I put those in place, everything kind of felt better for me, like, I felt like I had more control of my day, my time, I wasn't feeling burnt out from traveling, or not traveling, but doing the, travel business, and then also,
yeah,
coming home and cooking dinner and taking kids to activities and all of that.
yeah,
So setting boundaries was like my game changer, aha moment for me for sure. Um, and so I really do stick to those working hours. I don't work on weekends unless, of course, a client is traveling and they need me.
yeah.
But I put those hours in place and I do stick to them. So when my kids come home, I'm fully available, for them.
And you feel like you're able to get everything done in the within the boundaries.
Yes. Yeah. So what I do in the mornings, kind of like my day is get them off to school, and then I actually go and work out and kinda get some time to myself to kinda get my day
Mhm.
going, and then when I come home, I pretty much am sitting at my computer for those hours straight. So
Yeah,
I'm cranking it out, I'm just in my groove doing my thing, and I feel like that works better for me because if I'm just, like, focused from, like, 10 to 4. I just know,
yep,
like, "Do, do, do." I have, like, my routine.
mhm,
Um, and then, I do have times, like, if I need to answer emails here and there, like, when they're in bed, I, can do that, but I do set those emails to be sent out, like, a scheduled time. But I do crank most of my workout between the hours of 10 and 4, and I just kinda get in my groove, and I'm in my office with my doors closed, and I'm just in my zone, really.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I had the same exact experience when I was about the same point in
Mhm.
motherhood as you are. I had, my 2 older children were in, elementary school, and then my youngest was still at home,
Mhm.
and I just remember feeling constantly stretched and
Yeah.
never like I had time for myself
Mhm.
and just so diluted and unproductive,
Yeah.
like no bandwidth at all, but not getting anything done.
Yeah,
I was feeling
exactly.
like we're behind. And the same thing I ended up hiring, and this is what worked for my husband and I is
Mhm.
hired an au pair.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I had au pairs for about 10 or 11 years. And
Okay.
that worked really, really well for us because same thing. I was able to just carve out a
Mhm.
certain block of time every single day to focus on my work and career. And it makes all the difference in the world. And ironically, you probably end up spending less time working
Mhm.
than when you before you had the boundaries, but you're probably more productive in those hours because, like you said, you're focused on one thing at a time. And
Yes,
that's
exactly.
incredibly important. So,
Yes. Yeah, no, it is, because you can get that burnout if you're kinda just stretching yourself so thin, trying to do
mm,
everything for everyone, including your business, your family, and
mm.
there's no set boundaries in place, and I was definitely feeling like that burnout so early on, and I was like, "This shouldn't be happening because I like what I'm doing, but I'm just stretching myself so thin that I had to, like, sit back and, like, recalibrate and figure out, okay, what's gonna work best for my business and my personal life to have a good balance between the 2."
So let's talk about your brand.
Yeah.
Your I love your name and I've been on your website. It's beautiful. Your branding is just perfection, in my
Alright, thanks.
opinion. And I am a bit of a branding snob. And I mean, because I love branding. I think, and to me, our philosophy at Gifted Travel Network is you want to build your brand around your brilliance. And when you do, it becomes much more magnetic. And marketing is fun because it's kind of like your duty to put your message out there because how else are the people who need you going to find you if you don't? Whereas if your branding is not well thought out, not infused with your brilliance, um, it can and much more generic, it can feel much more transactional
Yeah.
and, you know, so back in the day when I first started the Global Institute for Travel Entrepreneurs, GIFT, which
Mhm.
is the predecessor to Gifted Travel Network, I would attend, Cruise World and other industry shows and exhibit at a booth to, hope I would, find more people who would want to become members of GIFT.
Mhm.
And one of the things that I would do to draw people to my booth is I would give a free business card analysis.
Oh, yeah.
And um, to me, the business card is such a window into your branding. Is it good?
Mhm.
Is it bad? And you can tell, and I could tell very, very quickly if someone actually had done a really good job with branding. But unfortunately, I just think there's such little guidance in the industry on good branding. I kind of pride ourselves on how good we are at branding. And I feel like you're such a good example of when you do it right, this is what it looks like. And so if anyone's listening, go to Brittany's website because it is absolutely gorgeous. It is the letter B for Brittany, luxescapes.com, which, and Lux has an E in it. I always forget if it has an E or not. So
Yeah.
bluxescapes.com. Check out her branding and reach out to her if you are in the Dallas Fort Worth area and want
Yes,
some help
reach out.
with luxury travel. But anyway, so you have absolutely nailed it. But what I would find in those business card analysis is that a lot of use of the most like clip art, airplanes and globes.
Yeah, yeah.
My gosh, I can't tell. And even when you would hire a graphic designer, they would always want to put those ugly
Mhm.
clip art things, or a generic looking plane and very one dimensional stuff. Um, or I would find that people wouldn't invest in a URL, and so then their email address would be like, Brittany at hotmail.com.
Yeah,
It's like so
yeah.
when you're not investing in these kind of things, you're going
Mhm.
to attract clients that don't invest in, value
Right.
or have value the professional travel advisor. So,
Yes.
um, you have done it absolutely right, and it just oozes with, um, just your personality, and it's just like I said, it's like perfection, and I'm a big, design fan too, like, as an interior design, and so your branding is like the equivalent of, um, really, really well done professionally interior designed
Oh,
home.
thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So, can you tell us about your branding process? How did you get to have such a great brand?
Yeah. My favorite color is pink, for starters.
Yeah,
And so I really just kind of use that from like my base color, but to tone it down with more like neutrals because you don't want like bright pink on your your business
yeah,
stuff. So I
yeah,
kind of use that as like a starter point. And
yeah,
then I really just played around with a lot of different designs. And I even posted when I first got started, I posted them in the Facebook group that we had to kind of get a little bit of feedback. And I actually did, it was funny, I actually did have a plane in one of my logos. And it's something I was like, this, I don't know, it's just kind of not my thing or whatever. And so, just like you said, it's kind of like clipboard-ish.
yeah,
And so I, had some different designs that I was just kind of like looking at and playing around with. And then I just kind of really liked the one that I fell on. Um, and I did use a, company to come up with my website, and I kinda worked alongside with them to pick the,
yeah,
branding colors and, like, do the website and kinda gave them my feel that I was wanting to do. I wanted it to be, kinda chic, a little, like, girly, but not too much, and, like, definitely professional, like, in a luxury way, and so I kind of fell on the color scheme that I picked, and then, like, the logo and website and things like that. Um, and then the name just B's for, like, my first name and then, like, a luxury,
yeah,
escapes. I think of vacations as, like, escaping from,
yeah,
wherever you're at, and so that's kind of how the name formed
yeah.
for B Luxe Escapes.
Yeah, I think the word escape or escapes totally elevates it from vacations. Vacations is fine and that's good, but escapes, it just elevates it.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, a lot of times when people do go on vacations, they are wanting to escape their life at home, whether it's like work,
Yes.
family, just whatever. You just need a reset. You kinda just want an escape, and so that word
Yeah.
really hit home with me, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds really good." So that's kind of how that formed for me.
Yeah. Absolutely. Um, so let's talk a little bit about your marketing. Um, what do you what do you do to market and what have you found has been successful?
Yeah, when I first got started, I did, my neighborhood has their own Facebook page. So I did like a blast on there to say, like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Here's all my information, and kind of sent that out there. And then I also let friends and family know what I was doing. And I also posted it on my personal Facebook and Instagram pages when I first started. And then from there, it's really been like word of mouth from referrals of clients or neighbors recommending me to their friends and things like that. And then once I really got going, I really ramped up my Instagram, my business Instagram page, um, which has come a long way. Even if you scroll way back, my posts look way different from how they look now. So it's kind of transformed a lot. And I put a lot really into my business Instagram now because I almost use it as a online storefront in a way. So when people are like, "Oh, what do you do for work?" And I'm like, "I'm a luxury travel advisor. Here's my Instagram if you kinda wanna see some of, like, my posts or places I've been or how I travel." And I find that's a really big thing because a lot of times people just need inspiration on, like, "Oh, she's going here, like, that looks fun," or "She's traveling with her kids, like, I can do that too." And so I really use that as, like, an online storefront and, like, a virtual business card, because a lot of the clients that I have, they are on Instagram, so that's where I find,
Mm.
um what works best for me and my clientele. So I do put a lot, into the business Instagram piece.
I mean, I've been on your Instagram and it's really stunning. It just oozes your brand, what we've been saying about your brand.
Yeah.
How long does it take you?
So what I do is at the beginning, actually at the end of the month, I kind of sit down and I plan out and I use Chat GPT to kind of give me
Awesome.
ideas or things like that. And I may say I have a picture on the beach with my kids. I want to use this. And I kind of,
Yeah,
use that to give me ideas and things like that. And then I really just set out some time and I plan out my posts. So I do 8 a month.
eight a
And I do
month.
like,
Okay.
yeah, 8 a month. I usually post on Tuesdays and Fridays,
Okay.
and I do scheduled, posts. So, once I kinda have everything lined up for the month, I go into Instagram and I just schedule the post for the month. So, like, for the month of May, I have all of them scheduled out, and I post, Tuesdays and Fridays, and then once you're kinda knock those, planning time days out and setting them up, you're kinda done for the month, and so it's kind of out the way, and it just auto posts
That's
for you, and
amazing.
so, I didn't know about scheduled, content posts on Instagram until maybe about a year ago, and so that was, like, my biggest hurdle, like, "Oh my gosh, I forgot to post today," or, just it's easier to forget. So the scheduled post was a game changer for me, especially with,
Right.
Instagram. Yeah, so that's been super helpful, and so it isn't,
I'm just
as
looking at it. It's
scary.
really gorgeous.
Oh,
Is
yes, thank
is this
you.
your personal or is this the business?
That's my business page, yeah.
This is your business. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just incredible, and I'm I'm so impressed with the the information that you're giving too. Like, it's just really, really well done. It's um, you're thinking it's strategic. You're thinking about what your ideal prospect is looking for.
Yes.
What's the eye candy?
Right, yeah.
You're gonna get them to be like, I want one of those.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's really, really well done. So you've figured out a whole process for it. So yes, it probably takes some time, but
Mhm.
I love that you're using AI to help
Yes.
you and make
Yeah.
that faster. I've been using AI lately too, and it is a game changer. It's not AI can come out very one dimensional
Mhm.
and lack personality if you're demanding too much of it. But if you feed it the right stuff, it just can really make things so much more efficient
Yes, yeah,
and
it
helpful.
can. I mean, I was a little nervous with the whole AI thing, but now that I've kind of tested it out and gotten comfortable with it, it is, definitely a game changer. It's very helpful if you like you said, you feed it the right information and, it spits out just helpful ideas and things that you may not think about on your own, especially with content or even, newsletters or just things that
Mhm.
you kinda wanna put out there and just kind of putting what's on your mind into the AI machine that you use. It spits out some very helpful, things.
So tell us about your vision for your business, and where are you in relation to that? Are you in a place right now where you feel like you have established the right book of business? You're not really trying to grow it, or are you still wanting to grow it?
Yeah, so right now it's just me with my business. I am exploring possibly getting a virtual assistant. I feel like that would be really helpful for me just to kind of do all of the
Mhm.
client care management pieces of having a travel business. I am, which this is a goal of mine for the rest of the year. I am trying to push myself out of my comfort zone with my business because I am at a comfortable place where I have a good client base. I have like
Yeah.
repeat clients. I'm
Yeah.
comfortable with what I'm doing, the types of trips that I'm doing, but I know I have the bandwidth to take on more clients. And what was holding me back was, am I going to be able to handle it in the
Mhm.
capacity and everything that comes with taking on more clientele? So my goal is now that I have a little bit of time to explore the virtual assistant route to kind of, have that piece kind of worked out before I take on more clients and really like putting my business out there a lot more. 'Cause I know I definitely can, but just like how I said, I'm in my comfort zone, I'm comfortable, I don't, wanna push it too much, but I know that I'm at the point where I'm established enough. I like what I do. I'm comfortable with what I'm doing, and I feel like I can take it to the next level to bring on more clients in that capacity. So that's definitely one of my goals for this year is to kind of build my clientele base a little more, get more new clients, get a virtual assistant. And then I would love in the future, if it all works out, to get an IC that's doing the things that I'm not doing. So I don't do a lot of ocean river cruises. That's not my wheelhouse. I'm more of like FITs and
Yeah.
Caribbean and Mexico and those, like, that's my wheelhouse. And so I
Yeah.
would love to bring on an IC that could do the things that I'm not doing.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like my goals for my business and my vision that I,
Love it.
see it
Those
going.
are very clear and it's very doable. I love that you are embracing bringing on help.
Hmm.
And you're doing it at the right time. A
Yeah.
lot of people would wait until they get completely burnt out, and then they're like,
Mhm.
"Shoot, I really need to do that."
Yeah.
Um, and that is something that I will, pat GTN on the back for, is that we do encourage that conversation. That is, we do focus on helping our advisors scale for growth.
Yeah.
And that is one of the most important ways to scale for growth is delegating. And whether that
Hmm.
means outsourcing or hiring help, but
Yes.
and your objections to it are exactly what everybody else feels.
Hmm.
But most people aren't like even considering it. That they just
Hmm.
stop at that objection. They're like, "Wait a minute, I don't have enough business to be able to afford this." And they think about the cash flow liability of paying someone a salary, and it really
Hmm.
freaks them out. Um, and and they also, like you said, they get really comfortable with where they
Hmm.
are, and they think, "There's no way I can hire someone who can do something as good as I know how to do it. And
Yeah.
how am I going to train?" And then, so my advice to you is follow that instinct that it's probably time to hire.
Hmm.
Um, when you go to hire, to establish a job description,
Hmm.
and one of the best ways to do that is to think about the phases of the sales cycle. I call it like three different phases. You have the marketing phase, which is the client attraction or awareness phase.
Hmm.
Um, so what are all the things you do there, including the Instagram stuff?
Hmm. Yeah.
And then you have the second phase, which is from the moment someone reaches out for an inquiry, with an inquiry, to the moment they actually travel,
Hmm.
is phase two. And that's the true selling phase. And there's all kinds of things you're doing in that phase, from getting quotes to putting together itineraries to adjusting the quote, giving, having the consultation call, having the delivery of the quote call. Um, and then when you finally get a decision,
Hmm.
from the moment they uh, pay deposit to the moment they return from travel, is phase three. And that is opportunity galore for travel advisors. And I think
Hmm.
you can really demonstrate your value over a booking engine.
Yeah.
Or so identify all of the tasks in those different phases that you don't want to do, that you would love to delegate.
Yeah. Yeah.
And get your job description out of it. And then interview people, like
Hmm.
post this job description and interview people. One of the things we see all of the time when travel advisors are finally like, "Okay, I'm going to hire someone."
Hmm.
But what happens is, and my neighbor Janet has this daughter that just graduated from high school, and she's amazing, and she's trying to find a job, and she loves to travel. So I think I'm just going to hire Janet's daughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Without like, so, you know, you really want to create the position and then find the right person for that position,
Hmm.
rather than find a person that's available and try
Yeah.
and force them into a position that may or may not be good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my advice, but I love that you're at that point. This is perfect timing for you to be
Mhm.
hiring. Um, and the there was something else I was going to say about that, but now I forgot it. So, um, but that vision is awesome, and I love that you recognize that you could support your clients even more with someone on the team that understands cruising and has a passion for cruising.
Mhm.
It's a fantastic way to travel. I never cruised until I was like in my 40s, and now I
Yeah.
love cruising.
Yeah.
Um, so tell us about your wheelhouse, and what do you think it is that you like? What is your brilliance? Do you know? What is it that makes the trips that you plan special for your clients?
Yeah. So, I have a big heart for helping people. Like, I just love to do it. It just, you hear someone say like, "Oh, I can't do this because of this," and I'm like, "Oh, let's figure it out." So, like, that's just my personality. That's just what I have a passion for. And so, when I hear people saying like, "Oh, I want to go somewhere, I don't have the time to do it," or "Oh, I can't go, I have to wait till my kids are off on their own in college," or it's just all these things, and I'm like, "You can do it. Let's sit down, talk it through," and I kinda give them options or scenarios, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't think about that," or "I didn't know that." And so, kinda creating those visions for clients, that they thought about is just something that I find joy in, and then I am a very detail-oriented person. Like I said, I love itineraries, I love calendars, I love task lists, like, that's my thing. And so kind of, like, putting that together for people, I find just joy in the whole, trip planning process for clients, and then coming back and hearing about their experiences and how much, they enjoyed the destination, how much they learned, and seeing their photos. And then, I always get a lot of, compliments from clients just saying how much, like, I checked in on them because I do, just check in, like, when they travel, like, "How's your trip going? Do you need anything?" I'm always available even after, they deposit and there's, like, a gap in between. I'm still kinda following up and checking in, and I feel like that personal connection, it makes it feel almost like a travel family versus, like, a transactional thing. And I feel like that is my brilliance or my thing that I bring to, clients in making their trip different from an Expedia or a Costco travel booking. It's like that
Yeah.
personal connection, and they feel like, "Oh, I have someone in the process with me to kind of guide me along, and she's not here just to, do the transaction and be done with me, like, she's here through the entire process." And so I really enjoy that. I love it, and I love to hear the feedback from when clients return from trips.
Right, absolutely. Do you find that one of the things that we teach through the Travel MBA program, but also through our
Mhm.
just Travel Business University as a whole,
Yeah.
is that often our ideal client is ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
You plan a lot of families trips, or
Um,
are you doing a mix of couples and families?
yeah, so I do a mix. So for me personally, I do a minimum of 3 trips a year. So we do a family trip with our kids,
Love
we
it.
do a trip with just me and my husband, and then we do a group trip with, there's 5 couples, we always travel together,
How
every
fun.
year. Yeah, and so I post all of those trips on my Instagram, and so I feel like I get a mix of all of that, because that's me in
Right.
3
That's
different
what you're posting
capacities.
about. Yeah,
Right. Yeah,
I
so I
love
do get a
that.
mix of everything.
So, and you take your kid when you go away with the kids,
Mm.
um, do you do anything like pretty exotic, or are you doing more of like Disney, um, tropical, all inclusive, or maybe a little bit of both?
Yeah, so with the kids right now, just 'cause, they are a little bit younger, we're doing more of the all-inclusives or, like, the tropical beach vacations, but we try
Mhm.
to include, like, a pretty cool experience when they go. And one of the ones that they always talk about is we took them to Turks and Caicos, and we got
Oh,
a
yeah.
catamaran. I know I love Turks. I could go there every year, every month. It's such a beautiful
Yeah.
place. The people there are super friendly. And we got
Some of
a
the most
got
beautiful beaches in the world.
it's gorgeous beaches. I mean, you can walk out and it's just shallow, so far
And
out.
so safe for the little ones. Yeah.
Yeah, super safe, for them, and then we got a catamaran and did a sunset dinner on the boat, and I mean, they still
Oh
talk
my
about
gosh.
that to this day, and they love it. So, what we do is instead of, like, a big Christmas, we do a, family vacation as,
I
like, a
love
gift
that.
of travel, every year, and so we've done it the past, 4 no, 3 years. This will be our 4th year doing it, and they look forward to it. We try to keep it a secret if we can, but, um,
Oh,
yeah, it's so fun. They get so excited to just travel and just seeing that little travel bug starting to form in them at this early age,
yeah.
and just, getting to see the world and things like that. And when they get older, we eventually wanna take them to do more, like, adventurous things, but at the
Mhm.
age they're at, they really appreciate the, tropical all-inclusive beach vacation trips.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And what I found with myself
Mhm.
personally, but also with all of the advisors that have little kids, that when they do get them out traveling from the moment they're born,
Mhm.
they tend to be less picky eaters.
Yes.
They tend to, just be just there's like a sense of growth that happens.
Right.
They're okay with something new.
Mhm.
They're much more comfortable with exploring, and they tend to be more adventuresome, and of course they're much more open-minded
Yes.
because they've met people from other
Mhm.
cultures. They
Yeah.
realize that there's something wrong with that.
Yeah.
Different isn't bad.
Yeah,
And it's
exactly.
interesting and it's fun, and um yeah, so that's really, really cool. So I love this concept that you and your husband go away. I mean, who watches the 4 kids?
Yeah, so, I mean, I feel like in any marriage, especially when you have your own business, like you're
Yeah.
working, have kids, and all of the things that come with that, you have to take time away from it just to kinda regroup and, grow your relationship. And I even talk about that on some of my Instagram posts with, pictures of me and my husband on there,
Mhm.
the importance of traveling without everyone with
Yes.
you. And so we really just take a time, either whether it's a long weekend or a week, and we just go away and just do a trip, with just us. And so my parents, and his parents, they're in Texas. I'm in Texas, so they're close. My mom, she actually lives 10 minutes from me, which is so nice. And then his parents are just 4 hours away. So we
Oh, wow.
alternate between, them when we kinda need them to watch the kids to go away. So we're
That's
very
cool.
blessed and thankful that they're able to come and watch
Yeah.
them, so we can still, have time to ourselves and do our vacations too.
What's a place that you would recommend for someone? Like, what's one of your favorite places you've been with your husband?
I would so it's a tie between Greece and, Africa, which they're 2 totally different
Yeah.
trips, but for different reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, going on safari is like, it's so incredible. It's like you can't even really
Yeah.
put it into words until you go and experience it yourself.
Yeah.
And so we really enjoyed that. So those are probably like my top 2 is Greece, which is
I'm impressed you guys went all the way to Africa together, because that's more than a long weekend.
oh, yes, yeah. So the longest we've ever been gone is 10 days. So,
Okay.
we've done Africa, which was really far, South Africa, and
Mhm.
then we've done Bali, which was really that was
Ooh.
the trip. So we did that last summer, and I mean, it was nice. It was far and it was nice. It was, like, just long enough. 10 days is about all I can do, and then I'm like, "I wanna see my kids," like, I miss
Yeah.
them. But 10 days is, like, our kinda limit right now for
Yeah.
vacations, yeah. So we do go to some far destinations, if we can, yeah.
And so now let's talk about the groups. I mean, I'm so jealous. I would love to have like a group of couples that travel every year together. Um, how does the selection work? Do you get to pick where you guys go and they just trust you?
So, it's actually a fun way of how we do it. So at the end of the last
Oh,
trip,
yeah. Mhm.
we kind of put in a pot, like each couple gets to put in like a destination they want to go to, and then we put it
Okay.
into a pot and pick. And
No
then once
way.
we pick, we still have to agree, like, are y'all sure everyone wants to go
Yeah.
on this trip?
Yeah.
And then from there, they're like, okay, Brittany, we know you're going to take care of it. These are the dates. And then I just kind of run with it and do my
Wow.
thing. Yeah.
He's so smart.
Right. Yeah.
It's so smart.
Yeah, so it is. I mean, it's fun. It's just the time that you can get away because they have a lot of kids as well between all
Yeah.
5 couples.
Yeah.
And so
So you
just
probably
that
need like a
time
full
away.
year ahead to be like,
Yeah.
let's make sure everybody can get that vacation time on the
Yeah.
calendar,
Yes.
organize the daycare,
Right.
who's
Yeah.
watching the kids. So
Yeah.
name some places you guys have gone as this group of couples.
So when we first started, we did, kind of like we did, like, the Bahamas, we did Turks, we've done, Panama, we've done Italy, we've done Greece, and Africa.
Oh wow. Oh, you guys did Africa together. That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's
Yeah.
gonna be hard to top.
Yeah, it is. Right now they're wanting to do Spain and Portugal for next year. But Africa, I mean, it was a really special trip because I was there
Yeah.
first time doing safari. We've done it, me and my husband have done it before,
Yeah.
but yeah, that one's gonna be hard to top. But I mean, all of
Yeah.
our trips, they're fun in their own ways just to kind of go to another country, experience it with your friends and learn and see and try different foods. We're all like foodies and, love trying different cuisines
Yeah.
and things like that.
I have 2 ideas for you that would lend itself to a group like that.
Oh,
Actually 3. I've got a 3rd idea. Uh, One is chartering a yacht in Croatia.
okay. Yeah.
You can charter a yacht for just your group.
Oh, that would be so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 2 is a river cruise.
Okay.
That group would do so well on a river cruise.
Yeah.
It's a great way to, see France or Austria, Germany, Switzerland.
Okay.
Um, so that would, and then the 3rd is a barge. Like, Belmont has those
Yes.
barges. Oh
Yeah.
my God, that would be so cool.
Yeah, that
Um,
would be. Yeah,
I
I'll have to
I don't
take
know
those
if they
2.
have barges that are you could get 2 probably.
Yeah, okay.
Because a lot of those barges are only like 3 or 4 bedrooms.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But anyway, those are my ideas for you.
Yeah, no, those are exciting. I feel like they would be open to those for sure, so I'll have to pitch that, one for sure. Yeah, those are great.
Awesome. Alright, so we are at the end of this. Wow, this went by so fast.
Yeah, it did.
So I am going to close with my favorite question, that I pretty much ask everybody. So, one of the reasons why we all become travel entrepreneurs is because of the life that we get to live. And you really do get to mix your passion with your career and live the most enviable life. So tell me about maybe your favorite pinch me, oh my God, I can't believe I get to do this for a living moment that you've had as a travel entrepreneur.
Yeah, so really it's for me, it's the flexibility of being an entrepreneur. Obviously, I have 4 kids, I'm busy. So really the flexibility of being able to work during the day, but still be present as a wife and a mother and still volunteering at their school and showing up and showing them like, hey, my mom may be working, but she can still show up for me in this capacity. And just the things that my kids say to me, like, oh, like what you do is so cool. And even my oldest daughter, she already has her full business planned out. And she's like, you're an inspiration to me. And just like those little affirmations that she gives me, it's so like warming to me as a mother. And so she has like a full like entrepreneur plan and like this whole design. She's like
Wow.
mapped it out and everything. And she's like, I see you doing what you're doing. And she's like, now I kind of want to follow, in your footsteps. And so just
That's
being like
nice.
the inspiration and just, hearing the little things that they say. And
Yes.
even my husband, I mean, they all like applaud me for what I'm doing. And it
Oh,
does make warm my heart. And, just having the flexibility and just balancing being a wife, a mother, and owning my own business is, you know, it's wonderful.
well, kudos to you, Brittany. You really have nailed it. You have
Thank
figured
you.
it out. You are living the dream. You
Yeah.
know, you really are living the dream. You've built a thriving business, but you've also built a life you love
Mhm.
around a passion for travel. And you don't, I don't sense any kind of like overwhelmment from you. I mean, I'm sure you have your days,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
but given what you have on your plate, I would have expected someone who was much more frantic.
Yeah. 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 No, I do get that a lot. I do have a calm demeanor, but my biggest thing is just scheduling things out, like, get a
Yeah,
calendar. I have
yeah,
to have when I do feel overwhelmed, I just start making, like, lists and categories and to, like,
yeah.
kinda put things in place, and it just kinda, just works with me.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it. And thank you all for listening to the podcast yet again. And we'll see you all on the next episode.
Yes, thanks for having me. This was fun.
Thanks for listening to the Travel Business Unpacked podcast, where we dive deep into the exciting world of travel entrepreneurship. If you're looking for more, we have some great resources for both aspiring travel entrepreneurs and existing travel advisors. Aspiring travel entrepreneurs, if you're thinking about turning your love for travel into a profitable business and enviable life, take our Travel Entrepreneurial Suitability Score quiz. It's fun and insightful. Just go to travelmba.giftedtravelnetwork.com. Find out if you're ready to professionalize your passion for travel. Current travel advisors. If you've been selling travel but haven't been able to grow your sales beyond $200,000 in a 12-month window of time, our quiz can help there too. Again, you can find that at travelmba.giftedtravelnetwork.com. Advisors looking for a change. If you're seeking an elevated hosting experience for the luxury travel advisor, check us out at giftedtravelnetwork.com. We'd love to chat with you. And with that, we wrap up today's journey. We hope we inspired you today, or at a minimum, put a smile on your face.